done soon enough, as the Nigerian Medical Association had announced officially that they're going to be talking about quite a number of things that might be happening if the federal government does not look into their matter. They're giving the federal government 21 days to avert the strike, according to the Nigerian Medical Association, NMA. They're saying in a press conference, they said that there was a disappointment and they condemned the circular of consequential adjustment of allowances under the there's a new salary structure. So what they're saying is that that's structure that they do not agree with it.
All right, this is something that we were used to a couple of years ago. You could hardly go a week without somebody talking about a strike or two. That was why one strike is ongoing anyway, which was usually the ASU strike. So it's interesting that we have grown accustomed to normalcy in our workforce, where we don't have this walk to rule situations. People are not down in tools. So it was kind of surprising for me. I'm like, yeah, okay. So I think it's some kind of kudos to the government, that they've kind of handled labor matters better. However, 21 days is enough time to listen to the demands of the doctors.
And to sort out whatever issues.
And look at it and please sort it out. Because I'm not going to lie to you. There are a lot of times when you interact with doctors and you'll just be appalled at certain things that these men and women have to go through. You will be appalled, and at times you're shocked. And when we start talking about brain drain and losing doctors and nurses and other medical or skilled labor to other parts of the world, it's down to some of this shocking welfare situations and packages. So I've not really looked at their demands. I'm talking from the experience I have had with issues that they've always put out,
I think it's the issue with there's a salary structure system. Remember the one with lecturers, the IPPIS
Yes,
issue?
I do. Yeah.
So kind of something like that. That's what they're having issues with. And they're saying that there's things that they should be sorted and all that. That's basically what the issue is. At least the little that I understand by what is happening at that point. So, but like you had said earlier, actually, I hope that the government finds a solution quickly for whatever it is that the issue is. And like you said, 21 days is a long time to sort out what the issue is.
One other thing that could work well for them now is that, strangely, campaigns have started in Nigeria. And every issue is going to be politicized. Every single issue.
So they might,
so
whatever it is they want.
The government does not even have 21 days
to sort out the issues, yeah?
They don't.
It makes sense. I just hope that their concerns are, would I say, valid.
Yeah.
Let me put it like that. It would, do you understand? So that we're not dealing with another story of remember that Labour Party thing that it was whether you liked it or not. Please, can I have that bottle?
Oh, my water. I'm sorry.
So it kind of, so it doesn't, it's not to with the issue of, oh, this thing is not going to fly, whether there's do you understand? That's why I'm looking at it. But if you have genuine issues, I don't see a reason why the government cannot sit down and they cannot have proper conversations around it. So anyway, just wanted to put that out there. But there are quite a number of conversations we're going to be having quickly. First things first, the federal government has signed a technical manpower deal with Saint Lucia. The president is really doing a lot with them at the moment right now. And they're looking at deploying experts back and forth. So it's basically kind of like an exchange.
Yeah, it's not necessarily even an exchange per se when it comes to the technical aid corps. The technical aid corps is something Nigeria has been doing for decades.
Yeah.
Honestly, kudos to former military ruler Babangida. Started under him, but of course it was Bolaji Akinyemi that brought that concept out. And what Nigeria has done through the decades is that there are countries that Nigeria has sent technical aid to, doctors, lawyers, even judges, teachers, and all of that. Benin Republic, Jamaica. In fact, this week, 4 doctors are leaving for Jamaica as we speak. We have some who are already there. We've done with Rwanda, different countries, So, but now, the one with the OECS countries, the new one that we're about to start, that President Tinubu has more or less
agreed to.
Yeah. They're even talking about the possibility of them paying. Because it's always been Nigeria, Big Brother, doing this, and that. And these people are referred to as volunteers, you get. But they are there usually for 2 years. Then they return. Or they are redeployed to another assignment and everything. But now there's a possibility that Nigeria will also even be paid to cover the cost, if not all, part of it. So we're sending trainers, nursing trainers and other things to Saint Lucia and some other countries. And believe it or not, these are the reasons why they say Nigeria is the giant of Africa. And yeah, you might not know this aspect of your country, but it's a big deal. And I've actually seen people who have not known about this, who are criticizing it. Hey, do we have enough in Nigeria? I see, this is not how the world works. Do you understand?
They're already there as that's what they do. Those people are already employed as that. They are not part of your regular workforce. It's not.
It's funny how we think, though, how you expect that because, maybe Nigeria needs 10,000 doctors. We cannot spare a few hundreds or a few tens.
I even feel that
to help sort out
one thing
people.
that you will not take away from this government, or maybe the president himself, is his level of diplomacy. He seems to be really, really, really in tune with diplomatic ties across a lot of countries that you probably didn't even hear about a lot. I had to actually go and educate myself about the Saint Lucia and Nigeria's ties with the Caribbean. And maybe with Jamaica, and I've heard this one or twice, but I never really went out to actually search to read up. I had to actually go and read up, and I'm like, they actually go way, way, way back.
According to the Saint Lucians, there's a tweet that their official handle put out, and they've been tweeting about Nigeria for the past 5 days now. There's a tweet that is very, very instructive. They talked about how we're separated by waters and distance, but we're connected, by blood and all of that. I'm paraphrasing, actually. I'm not quoting them verbatim. But, there's something on Netflix that I had recommended to a lot of people called Bigger Than Africa or Larger Than Africa, something about the Yoruba race. Yoruba are not a tribe. It's a race. It's like a whole people.
It's a whole.
Yeah. And how they spread to all those places. Something that was a curse is turning out to be a blessing. The curse of slave trade, is turning out to be a blessing. What's most important is how these people from generation to generation have held on. They're parts of the Caribbean that have links with the Igbo nation. That these people are direct descendants of some parts of Nigeria. There are some that have links to the south part of Nigeria, the Calabar area. But there's a whole lot of them also that also have links to the Yoruba part of Nigeria. And they have stayed through. They have passed on culture and tradition from generation to generation. In fact, the way things are going,
they seem to be holding on to this tradition more than we.
The way things are going, Tolukbo, the way Africans are going now to evangelize to the white people, to the Britons and the Americans, is the way these people will come and spread what we call Isheshe to us here. They will teach you the way they have kept on going with the traditional traditions and I said traditional traditions, the culture that has been passed on from generation to generation. I saw them celebrating yesterday evening in a garden, and the song was just Yoruba. Like it was.
Yeah, I think I saw that video. Yes, I saw that video.
So you have brothers and sisters there, and we don't have to politicize everything. You don't have to agree with the government on everything, but when there's something good that you see, I think you should look at it. Nigeria is going to benefit a lot from this trip, especially with the fact that it's not just Saint Lucia, but the entire OECS countries that are involved, and they're all looking at a two-way trade, which looks like will be even skewed more in favor of Nigeria than anybody else. Aliko Dangote had already reached out to them before, looking for, more outlets to sell some of his products, and it's just looking like a good thing for Nigeria.
Okay, now we need to move on quickly from that, and then moving on, still talking about the federal government, and remember during the End Bad Governance protest, and one place that really bought the brunt of the protest a lot was in North, specifically Kano State. I'm sure that some pictures and videos are still ingrained in people's mind. Young children, and the whole story of how they were arrested, some that were detained for months, and all that, and how the industrial park that was that was about to be commissioned was literally looted completely.
Yeah.
So apparently, and this is the good news for me, because honestly, I don't want to say, typical Nigeria, but in my wildest dreams, I didn't think that there was going to be anything done about that place that quickly. However, it has now been announced that the Nigerian Communications Commissioner has now said they fully restored the Northwest Digital Industrial Park that was torn apart in less than 10 months ago.
All right, that's a fantastic one. Honestly, that's good news, especially if you look at the impact of this kind of project on people. One of the sad things that I've heard and I've seen people do is, say what they're going to do. Look, we're talking about a place where young Nigerians based in Kano can go to express themselves, to acquire knowledge, and even earn a living, to be empowered. This type of empowerment is beyond the usual buying Okada for them, or keke marwas, or the other funny things that we give them, but this is about,
and it's really basically
their skills.
Yeah, the Northwest, it's that's the one that I like. This thing is still, they actually still went back to finish it. It's really, really, it's very, very, very commendable with the Ministry of Communication, Innovation, and Digital Economy. Really wanted to just
it's Bosun Tijani's baby. You know that he, of course, being someone that has come under a lot of hate, he would want to ensure that all the legacy projects or everything that he wants to put in place is actually done.
It's done no matter what.
That was a major setback for him. And
yeah, I agree. It was some major setback. Now let's move on from that quickly and let's come all the way to Lagos State. Now, Lagos State is I don't want to put this in a funny way, but the truth is, one of the sad things that is kind of synonymous to Lagos, or maybe because it is where a lot more people, what's the word now? Maybe is reported more in Lagos. I can't say for a fact, or maybe some other people do not report it as much in some other states, and this is building collapse. That thing, like I said, but I will not even be surprised if it's a thing with Lagos. One of it is Lagos Island, and that is where we saw a 3-story building today collapse on Lagos Island. Thankfully, nobody that, at least there's not been any casualties yet, and the 4 people had been rescued from the rubble.
Yeah.
Three-story building in Lagos Island. You can imagine what it looks like.
Whenever you hear it, especially when I heard it was Adeniji Adele, and how it had affected traffic, and they had to divert traffic through Igadu to Enowa, it shows you that it was in a strategic place on a major road, on Adeniji. Adeniji is the one that's close to the water side and the bridge and all of that. Of course, all those places are fully commercialized now. It's a mixture of residential and commercial. And it going down on a day like this, and there's no casualties. Hopefully, there will be none. It's a good thing. However, what this has done, especially with the government of Sanwo-Olu, is that they tend to use these things to now do more inspections, check the integrity of the buildings that
buildings
are
around
close
them,
by and everything.
yeah.
But we know that someone somewhere dropped the ball when it came to the development of Lagos Island. Lagos Island, I spent months and weeks and years going there. It's a unique community. It's a beautiful place. But someone dropped the ball when it came to the development of Lagos Island. Apart from the fact that these buildings are clustered and they are so close to each other, apart from that, which could be a unique thing if it was done right, it's the quality of the construction that we are actually questioning. The way people are allowed to build 4 5-story buildings without proper foundations and everything.
And then you now see them, the pathways are now where structures are now being built, and all sorts of things.
It's so sad, and the money that you think you have made or will make, you end up losing. But the most painful one is the lives that are affected
by these.
But I know that there's a renaissance. There's going to be some kind of urban renewal going. It's already happening in some parts of Lagos.
Lagos Island. There's going to be a lot
that I don't know. Somehow we've not talked about is the pump station that Lagos State installed to take out flood water and rainwater from some parts of Lagos Island. This particular axis around this place, through the Iluberin to the, open waters and everything. And that thing pumps out millions of liters of water daily from the island. So you see that the urban renewal will happen eventually, and life and the quality of life will improve. You get, because this is where some people have been for generation after generation after generation, and more like centuries, So we are hoping that
it's going to take a lot of willpower.
It still won't lose its essence. There's something I like about Lagos Island is the fact that there's nothing in the world that you want to get that you cannot get. At any time of the day.
At any time of the day. Any time of the day. I would
there's nothing from
first hand.
From food
any time of the day.
Clothing to anything at any time of the day.
Any time of the day.
It's a unique place.
It is a very unique place. Very, very unique place. But still talking about the Lagos Island. Now, they're talking about this Lagos Island and building collapse. This is the posh part. The gist I want to give now is the posh part of Lagos Island. And this is Lekki Phase 1. Yeah?
A quick correction before I fix the microphone. It's not that place. They call it the island. Then there's Lagos Island.
Okay, fix you. No, it's Lagos Island. Anyway,
it's not.
The posh part of Lagos Island.
It's not Lagos Island.
Oh God, fix what you're fixing.
That's not Lagos Island.
Anyway, Lekki Phase 1 had seen the death of a young man. Why? So apparently, a mall that was just commissioned, if I'm correct, just a few months ago. Actually, I'm not even sure it's up to a year ago. The building has now been sealed, but there's a mall, Purple Mall in Lekki. There's now a probe that the Lagos state government has now done. Why? Because apparently on the 26th of June, there was a particular person, there was a mall, there was a gym that he was coming to. According to the Commissioner of Environment, he came to, and there were quite a number of people, there were dignitaries, I don't know what event was happening there. So he was directed to go to park at the fifth floor of the multi-level parking, only for them to discover that he and his vehicle were at the bottom of that structure from the fifth floor.
How?
Oh, it literally went through.
Who was in the vehicle?
The guy that drove up the way to the fifth floor that was going to the gym.
That's crazy though.
Yeah, basically.
Again, it's down to the same thing that we're talking
it's
about.
Structure, and now the building, the whole thing, as it was said, to now be shut down indefinitely.
Dolupo, it's down to the same thing we're talking about.
And he has lost his life.
Okay. See how painful this is now.
It's horrible. It's horrible.
Another avoidable death. And every time this happens, it's just like what we're talking about when we're talking about Isaleko now, Lagos Island. Now, this thing that happened in Lekki, Axis, or whatever. Whose job was it to ensure that the people constructing these buildings adhere strictly to quality? You know, the funny thing is, God forbid, who is safe?
Yeah. I was even going to say,
The man.
if you don't have the wherewithal to build such things, why not leave it on ground level?
Okay.
It doesn't make any sense to build
depending
5
on the
floors of something that is...
depending on the volume of traffic you are expecting for you to get approval. There are times when you have to do these things.
No, I'm not saying
that nobody should allow them, even if it's one floor, even if it's that same ground floor. There are standards and qualities that must be maintained. And this thing that I'm talking about is beyond construction.
Like
it's happening everywhere.
Everything.
Nobody is checking what anybody is doing wrong.
When they talk about multi-level parking, we're in 2025. It's actually, why would I say it? It's not out of place. Oh, it's not you're not constructing 100 floor house. So it's actually like an everyday structure. In 2025, you can't even build that properly.
In Ikoyi, someone was given approval to build 7 floors or 6 floors. How many floors? He decided to extend it to 11 floors or more, calculating the number of
so according to the government, they're saying that the reason why he was asked to go there himself, because normally they have valet services and he would not have been, but the valet would have been the one that would have fallen. Somebody would have died either way, because that car would have
what's that got to do with anything?
I'm just saying,
you see,
that's the reason why
we're
he
talking
had
about
to drive himself
someone
to the floor.
who innocently went somewhere,
trusted your construction.
I'm talking about whose job it is to ensure that we don't have this type of buildings at all. It is not normal that every month there is talks of one building collapse, not just in Lagos. So now we're hearing about it in Abuja, you're hearing about it in some other parts of Nigeria. How long are we going to keep doing this for? The Nigerian Engineering Associations, they've cried and made a lot of noise. They've tried and tried. Who has the power to stop this?
You can't be doing this.
And it's not only on government, it's also on me and you, that if you see something, say something.
Yeah. At times, when it comes to some construction, you're just going on the road, you might not even know. But you want to build... Okay, let's look at it from the angle of waste of money. So you want to build something, you don't have enough funds to build what you feel like building, yeah? So you feel that you use substandard. Now this structure, a part of this structure has collapsed. This building has now been shut down. You're losing money.
Do you know?
You're losing business.
Do you know that?
On the long run, it doesn't make financial sense.
In another
it doesn't
scenario,
make financial sense.
Based on what you're talking about, in another scenario, do you know it's not that they don't have enough money? Do you know it's a deliberate way to save money? It's deliberate.
Okay, so I'm
Where you're
looking at
supposed
it
to
as
have
is
concrete
penny
pillars.
wise, pound foolish. Because now this mall is a place of business. You have spent a lot of money to build that structure. I'm guessing a lot of people have rented places in those places.
Oh, yeah.
Now that place has been shut down. Now people are going to lose money by the day. It has not been shut down indefinitely. You don't know when or if it's going to be
Shutting
open
down
again.
is medicine after death.
I'm just saying. I'm even looking at it from that angle. So when you look at it from that angle and the amount of money you're losing per day, does that make economic sense?
I remember,
if you could have avoided this nonsense.
I remember when the former governor of Lagos, Babatunde Raji Fashola, was on an inspection tour of all the local governments, and he got to a particular local government, and he had only gone there to inspect certain things, and they told him, oh, there's an hospital for him to commission, and he said, okay, let's go there. He went there and he didn't commission the place. He actually looked around, then said they would come back for commissioning. He understands that commissioning that place means me saying this place is fine.
Yeah.
That's the truth.
If I'm correct, the governor was there to commission this place. What happened?
I'm just saying, Sha, that it's your job. There's a ministry of this and a ministry of that. There's a local government. And you see, this is what happens when we lay more credence or put more of IGL ahead of the people. You know, like we need money to do projects. We know you need money to do projects. But what about oversight functions? What about inspections? You know, what about all those things? You know, there's a time when you just come to the front of your house and you will find a letter that says you should go and pay one tenement rate or the other. The same way you can bring paper to check people's houses is the same way you should have a team that is actually checking out from time to time the integrity of buildings, especially the ones that look suspect. Some don't, and they are still bad. Anyway,
we'll definitely follow all these matters. We hope that this nonsense actually does stop, especially in Lagos State. Also, just wanted to put this out there for people that are applying Eco Bridge and Odoyalaro. They're saying that because of the traffic congestion that is happening with with the Ogudu axis, and now there's a lot more vehicular traffic on Ikorodu Road, that they're now suspending the BRT enforcement on that side, so everybody could use those lanes now.
you know, one of the things that I'm hoping for is that the especially the bridge called Odoyalaro, the bridge is the link between Jota and Maryland and Jota. It's a two-way bridge, yeah? There is no sense in putting a BRT lane on that bridge. It doesn't make any sense whatsoever.
Okay.
Because one, you cannot delineate it. BRT lanes have blocks showing.
Yeah,
this
you
is
don't
a
have
BRT lane.
the space.
So all you
for
have
that.
is a line. And what happens is that during rush hour, people are left with just two lanes.
Yeah.
You get, and we don't have that many BRT buses plying that route. So you find that the commercial buses use it more because nobody can arrest those ones. They are more or less invincible. But you, the private car owner, just drive on it. Drive on it. Then
they're waiting for you at the tail of that.
Even the government owned taxis are arrested when they run on that lane. And I'm really saying that the fact that you know that you can suspend it because there's congestion somewhere means you should suspend it permanently because there's always congestion in that axis. Maybe when they open the Okwebi bridge and everything, maybe
to open up.
Maybe it will.
It should open up that place.
Maybe it will. You get? Maybe it will. Maybe it will because some people that are going to Maryland will turn off at the Okwebi, and some people are going to Maryland to turn back to Jota will turn underneath the bridge, and all of that, and connect Mende and all of that. But regardless, the fact that you could suspend it, maybe you should just
maybe
totally
you don't
forget
need it.
At least for you see, I'm not talking about Eco Bridge. I'm just talking about that Odoyalaro Bridge.
Odoyalaro Bridge. So just wanted to put that out there. Now, let's move on from all that gist and go to a bit of politics. Now, the politics is that we know that the coalition story has been going on and on and on and on. But sorry, 1 minute before I leave the matter of, apparently the Kano government has now banned scrap imports from the northeast, because apparently it was through that there was an explosion was imported literally into the state. So
the so-called scrap imports that they are talking about, if you dig deep, some of them are even responsible for some of the so-called metal infrastructure that are being stolen in places like Abuja and Lagos and the rest.
So they're saying that they're stopping all that.
It's
now,
good.
So now let's go to politics. First things first, let's stop at the House of Representatives, where today 7 Akwa Ibom House of Rep members, 6 from the PDP and 1 from the YPP, has now moved to the APC.
After coalition.
I'm wondering too. I'm shocked, because I thought like coalition is the new bride now. Everybody should be moving there.
They said they are going to get 7 governors from APC, 500 senators, and 2,000.
We don't have 500 senators.
Okay. Sorry about that. But let's hear. It's interesting that politics has taken over governance. And I'm just more concerned now that will these people have time to do what we elected them for? You get the governor of Akwa Ibom seems to be really, intent on moving not just himself, like he has already moved, but the entire elected and
the Delta governor did it.
Yeah, and it looks like it's a total thing, and they are more or less bedding down in anticipation of some seismic electoral process in 2027. The interesting thing about it is that if you look at the state-by-state structure of these defecting states, most of the governors are returning. They want to return.
Oh, they want to return.
So they have a stake.
Feel like
they have something to lose or gain.
Okay.
You get.
Yeah.
Unlike governors like maybe a Sheyi Makinde now, who is on his way out. And he can only aspire to maybe go to Senate or president. He cannot return as governor. You get. But this is interesting how, while on the one hand, in the last 24 hours, it's been about the ADC. And of course, that's also thrown up a lot of questions, a lot of reactions here and there, and in the House of Reps, there's some. Now, if anybody is against defection like the opposition used to be when someone leaves them, you can't anymore, especially with what happened yesterday, because one of the reasons to say you are moving is if there's a problem in your party. And there's definitely a problem in the PDP. It's gotten worse, isn't it?
Oh, yes, it definitely has. If I am correct, at the moment, there are actually 10 people. There, how many House of Rep members? 1, 2. I'm counting. No, sorry. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Ah. So, there are 8 House of Rep members from Akwa Ibom State. There used to be 1 APC person. Now, the remaining 7 have moved. Okay.
So all 8 have now moved.
Yes, that's what it means.
Okay.
Yep.
So now, officially, the whole of Akwa Ibom is APC.
Yes, if I'm correct, yes.
Interesting. Interesting times are here. And all of this is geared towards the 2027 elections, amongst other things.
It's very interesting. And like I said...
So more or less now, the overwhelming majority of the APC has become scary.
So that's what I'm looking at. And this is just me just asking questions. Like I said, one would have thought that the coalition was the new bride and a lot of people will be moving there. Yeah, a lot of former politicians moving there. Yes, they have. However, wouldn't it also be nice to have sitting people, like elected officials?
They said it's going to happen.
Okay.
I said it's going to happen.
Well, elections
I know
are in
you have,
2027.
I know you have Daily Momodu's recent interview on this list.
Oh yes, so he's going on about. According to him, it says that the major PDP people are leaving for Wike because they just want that. So, in his words, PDP is now a caucus.
Yeah.
And
okay,
they are leaving, basically just leaving him to do whatever he wants to do. That's why a lot of them are moving to the coalition.
Okay.
What happened to the people moving from the APC too?
But they're still. In fact, I've not heard any PDP governor join this coalition.
No. The PDP still has governors.
They have governors.
They have senators.
They have
House of Rep members. They have House of Assembly members. They have councillors. They have chairmen. The coalition has not seen one soon.
The ADC has. I think they have only one House of Rep member. I think the guy is in Kogi or so. He was also talking about not being aware of all of these things that are happening too. The elected guy. Yeah.
Him?
Yeah, he's saying, I don't know what they're doing. It's the ADC guy. Yeah, you could look it up, And
guess what? The Senate president was actually the only person from Akwa Ibom that was in the APC.
Yes, that's when we started.
Yeah, it was the only. Interesting.
Yeah.
Anyway, so we're going to be seeing. I honestly thought that there may be a pause on defections. I did not think that the defections were still ongoing. I honestly think that the coalition needs to sit down and really map out what they want. I saw a lot of people going on, and a lot of people have been saying that that there is going to be this kind of thing happen in 2015, and since APC could pull it off then, ADC can pull it off now.
Interestingly, someone has something to say about that.
So, I saw someone's tweet, and it makes sense. I'm not agreeing with it, but it makes sense. It says that 2015 is not 2027. There are different indices, and GEJ is not BAT.
Yeah.
Are those valid concerns to you? Are they actually valid?
Someone said something similar, something more in depth.
Okay, like what?
And it was published, I think, in the Daily Trust. He said he's a member of this coalition. He's a member of the Labour Party. Mm-hmm. He's joined the coalition. He was with them on the table. And he said that, look, it's good for them to have a coalition and do all these things that they're doing, but they need to be serious with what they're doing. For instance, that Tinubu, the president, invested and waited for about 16 to 20 years before he could contest for president.
If some people wait now,
and
they're already dead. Not that I want to keep them, but they're already old.
And that in their coalition, do they have that type of person? Do they have anybody that's prepared for 16 years? Do they have someone who was patient enough?
Because if he's in his 70s now, maybe he was in his 50s then. How many of them do they have now?
You get that? Do they even have that kind of person now? That, for instance, of course, we know that now there is an article there. I remember when I was telling Dolukbo the article was going to contest. Not even this one that was
But he has not said he's still going to contest because he's still not picked. Okay. What?
You do this every 4 years.
Okay.
I remember when I said it at the other. She said no. And the man contested. And the man got the ticket. And the man is contesting again.
He has not contested.
God sparing.
He has not. So he
I don't know.
He's going to get ADC.
Once in a while, let's get real. He is. Do you think Atiku going from SDP to is because he wants to support somebody?
Maybe for the first time.
If you're okay.
He did it in what's he called now?
He didn't. He lost.
APC.
He lost.
In 2015.
He did not. He lost. He lost because Tinubu did not support him. Tinubu supported Buhari. Go and ask people who were there at Teslim. He lost. It's not a matter of him stepping down for anybody. Why did he leave the party? If he really did that, why didn't he leave? Why didn't he stay? Like, you know what? I think Buhari should go. I will wait for my turn. Do you think that was, if that was what happened, why did he go back to the PDP? Nah, Abba, let's just go with the facts. We have sentiments too, but let's go with the facts. Atiku is going to contest. There's nothing anybody except God says otherwise. And the man, I'm happy for him, is healthy. I saw the meeting that they had before they went for the meeting. I saw them eating in Atiku's house. They had some, their chef and the people serving them are even foreigners. They're not Nigerians. Yeah.
They are big.
Yeah. I think they are Filipinos or whatever. They had two of them, laid a table out for them. Obi, all of them sat down to lunch and everything.
That's good.
So I say Atiku is very fit and I'm happy for him. He's contesting. And nobody, he's a Nigerian. He's duly qualified. You can't stop him. Obi is contesting.
At this point, is he Nigerian?
Obi has contested as president.
So is it that they're all now going into primaries? Because
the only way, and I'm not saying this coalition cannot work. I'm not joining people who say it can't work. I won't do that because it's politics. But the best chance, not only way, is for a northerner to go against Tinubu. That's the best chance. And Tinubu is...
northerner?
Yes.
But at this point, I thought that there was supposed to be an 8 years south.
So why did Atiku contest 3 years ago?
Because he wanted to.
Is he from the south?
That's so...
Wouldn't
that work against the ADC?
And he still got to be second. He was second. I'm being real here.
Well, that could make them second again.
Okay. All right. Anyways, our views are valid, and I believe so are mine.
I'm just saying.
But I am saying, based on the little I know about Nigerian politics, and I say little, the toughest opposition Bola Tinubu would have is a northern Muslim. That's the toughest opposition that might defeat him. He's not unbeatable. That's the toughest opposition he will have. If this coalition picks anybody from the south, and he now happens to be a Christian, I'm not naming names, there is a 70 to 80% chance that Tinubu will coast home before 12 o'clock. And guess what? This is the quagmire that
Don't do this. Before 12 o'clock, really?
Maybe around 11.
Are you kidding?
This is the quagmire that I see. The gentleman's agreement that the North will serve for 8 years and pass it down to the South and pass it back to them should be kept too.
So if that is kept, then it still has to be a South. Yes, they still have to have the Southern.
So you do the math and deduce what I'm saying now. Then deduce what I'm saying. So
Tinubu is going to do this 8 years.
These people are working for him.
Okay.
They are working for Tinubu. All of them.
Anyway,
the only way, I repeat, the only way they can defeat a Tinubu is to disregard the rotational presidency and go ahead, if they respect it, and bring a southerner against Tinubu. And this is what I'm saying. Listen, there's whatever happened in the southwest will not happen again.
Oh, that.
If you like,
no, it's not going to happen.
If you like, move all your cards from one region to Lagos, all because of whatever. It's not going to happen again.
It's very obvious.
There will be not that much of a voter apathy. People have woken up a lot. That's one. Two, the South that was always PDP is now
basically all APC.
I don't want to. Maybe I don't know maths.
Okay, except Bielsa now.
It's now, let's just say 75% APC.
Not 75%. Wait, let's calculate it.
There must be error of margin.
Oh, no, there's no error of margin. It's 6 states. Edo is APC.
What are the voting numbers in each state?
So
it can't be. It's not about the governors. It's about the numbers.
We saw the landslide that happened in Rivers. That had never happened. So I get your point. Voters, so you are saying 75%.
Yes.
Let's be on the safe side.
Yes.
Okay.
It's not about the governors because, El Rufai was a governor in Kaduna. Did APC win Kaduna?
Sure.
So it's not about the governors. It's about the people who will vote.
Yeah.
It's about the people who vote.
We are saying that there is a major APC inroad now in the southwest.
So that has changed the whole dynamics. Has changed the dynamics.
North Central.
The battleground states will now be in the north. The northwest, which is where El Rufai operates, will now have to prove that he is strong enough to pull off the northwest. But we always talk about the KKK, Kano, Kaduna, and Katsina.
Yeah.
Kano now, from the look of things, for them to have sacrificed their party chairman, there is a potential move that will see them take a lot of votes in Kano. Maybe more than what they had before.
Yeah.
Because before, I think it didn't get up to 1 million.
Yeah, but it was a lot. Yeah, about 700 and something.
And the person that took the million part of it, the 900 and something, is the one that they are trying to bring in.
Yeah.
And that is basically to neutralize anything that's coming out of Kaduna.
Yeah, however, Kaduna too now.
And now there's Uba Sonny, who is doing amazing.
Who seems to be politically.
Southern Kaduna people are on his side for the first time. You are seeing that in a long time. So you now look at it and go and look at Katsina. Now, Adamawa.
Katsina is, once you have a Buhari on your side.
You see, I didn't dwell on it. Adamawa, where Atiku is from. They just took his title from him.
There's a lot of conversation about Adamawa at the moment.
Just took, you don't understand, the governor who is PDP took a title from him.
Yes.
He can't be called Waziri anymore. Am I making this up?
Oh, yeah. There's quite a number of issues.
So, 2023, you went to 2023. 2023 and 2027 are different.
Yeah.
Completely different.
Completely different voting patterns. I think that's what is going to happen a lot. However, still talking about
it's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing.
I think that the politics of it would also open everybody's eyes to realize that nothing. And which 2023, we also saw those kind of things happen in 2023. Like how APC, you always could call that, Lagos will be fine.
One of the things.
Do you understand? So
one of the things
anybody could upset anybody.
That this coalition needs to do quick is to get their defectors to come out quick. I'm telling you. So that they can sensitize more people. Look, every single person there that was in that place, whether they're in APC, PDP, Labour, or ADC, they never supported Tinubu. So he hasn't lost anything as we speak. Aragbeshola never supported him for the 2023 elections. He did not. In fact, he deliberately left.
Yeah.
All the period that Tinubu was contesting.
Was not.
He only came back to campaign for Sanwo-Olu in Lagos. Amechi never supported him. He said it himself that he told Tinubu that he won't support him. Of course, Atiku contested against him. Obi contested against him. Who else is there? David Mark never supported
was
him.
In PDP.
So there is no way. He hasn't lost anything. But if they want to do it, it has to be a northerner. It has to be a northerner.
Talking about the coalition, interesting news coming from the Labour Party. Labour Party is now giving the Labour Party presidential candidate, Mr. Peter Obi, 48 hours to resign from the Labour Party, saying that he cannot be in the ADC and in the Labour Party. However, interesting news, the Nedadi Usman, part of the Labour Party, has now come out to say that, that they know about it and they're okay with it. So I'm like, okay, so are we saying that Labour Party is not going to have a presidential candidate?
This is how they start to shoot themselves in the foot, right? Now, the thing about it is you're giving him 48 hours. What does your own constitution say? These 48 hours that you're giving him, is it from the Labour Party constitution?
But do they even have the powers to say? Because right now, remember this is Julius Abure angle.
No. Well, until the court tells us who is the real Labour Party leader, you know that there's still that controversy. And speaking about controversy, even the ADC has its own controversy.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. We're picking it one by one.
So staying with Labour, since she says we're picking it one by one, staying with Labour, what it means now is that Peter Obi has said that he's a Labour Party person, but he's down with the coalition. One part of Labour is saying, leave us in 48 hours. The other one is saying, stay. What it means is that one of them is doing anti-party. They are all citing Wike, but they are making one big mistake. There's only one Jens on Wike. He is a lawyer. and he also does everything by the book.
By the book.
And he had built the party, carried the party to the point where they could not remove him.
Remove him.
You know, I was saying it here. I was saying it for almost 2 years. I said, by now, he should have been suspended. Did they do it? No.
If not,
what did Fayoshe's son do that they said they suspended him? All the other people the man in Edo State that they suspended, all those people that they were suspending, what did they do compared to what Wike is doing and has done? Did they suspend him? They no bond. They were having a meeting. They didn't invite him to the meeting. But he went there. Were they able to prevent him? No. Because why? He has all of them by the jugular. Let me say jugular.
Anyway, still talking about this coalition, the ADC, the party that seems to be the one everybody's talking about now, its 2023 presidential candidate has now come out to say that basically disown these people.
Dumebi Kachiko is spoken calmly, spoken with a lot of sense and facts, but there's something that shocks me about, two things about the coalition and the adoption of ADC was, it's that this same ADC, if you Google the story, under the guidance of Obasanjo, the former president, was going to be the vehicle that they said they were going to use about 3 or 4 years ago, the same coalition or whatever. So that's one. Like, it's not the first time they're trying to use ADC. Why didn't it work then? 2, there is at least one court case that controverts what they've done. The person who claims to have handed over to them yesterday, his tenure ended in 2022. This is 2025. His tenure ended at least 2 years ago, at least. If not 1 year, at least 2 years ago. You get? If not 3, 2. If your tenure is over, anything you do after that is illegal. And there's a case in court about it. What happens? Just what happens if the court now says, oh, this person's tenure has ended, anything he has done after that is null and void. You know what that means? David Mark,
y'all are back to square one.
And Regbe Shola would be holding an illegal position. That's what it means.
And it's funny how why do we do that? Why didn't you just wait and do something fresh?
They're in too much of a hurry. They can plan this thing well, but you see, they're in a hurry. They want to prove a point. Now, Dele Momodu was talking about how the government is planting moles in their party. And you know the funny thing is, I see when you always blame government for all your woes. The moles that you planted in their own party, you see, you people do the same things, though. And that's one. Two. So now that you have gone to ADC, there's no mole again.
There's no mole again, no. They've left, according to him,
there's no mole.
Left the party carcass to Wike and his cronies.
So there are no moles now in ADC.
No.
The same ADC that you are calling people to come and join.
No.
Come and join us.
No.
Let me tell you one of the theories that I have. And it's a conspiracy theory. It's just me thinking, over a bottle of water, which is real water this time. That people who left Tinubu and went back to him went on a mission. They all worked with the 2 major presidential candidates. To
destabilize them, yeah?
2 or 3 of them worked in this party and 2 or 3 of them worked in that other party. And of them, at least 2 or 3 of them are back in the APC. Yeah. I'm just saying, Sha. So, mole.
Anyway, we definitely will follow this matter. Talking about Nyesom Wike, he has just said that he had a media parley, but he said that he's not going to disclose details of his peace deal with Governor Fubara. But we're going to be because a lot of things have been bandied around.
The biggest thing that Wike said today that was profound for me is that the event center that everybody was complaining that they spent so much, said they've already made about 650 million naira since they launched it.
And that they make only 50 million per year normally.
Yeah, 10% of that, about 65 million a year. And in 2 weeks, they have made 650 million.
And that they are now booked up until 2027.
Next year.
It's
and he's a terrible guy. So
but 2027 is that you are planning party in 2 years.
I saw when he was telling the PDP people that if they want to use it, he won't rent it to them.
But if they have their money to pay now, why not?
That guy is something else.
Anyway, sad news from the world of football as Liverpool star Diogo Jota died today alongside his brother in a car crash.
28 years old, got married a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
And he just posted about his wedding 2 hours before that thing happened.
Yeah.
You know?
Sad.
85 or so goals for Liverpool in 180 something appearances.
You know, the funny thing is that I'm not sure I really ever followed his career, but I saw it this morning. I'm like, no, I know this name. This doesn't make sense.
It's painful.
It's really, really sad.
And his brother was a baller too.
Yeah.
Andre Silva.
Yeah.
You know, everybody's talking about it. It's so sad at 28.
Yeah. It really,
it's really sad.
You can imagine.
And it's, you know,
telling their mother.
It's got 3 kids.
Yeah. Telling their mother that her 2 sons just died.
Yeah.
It's crazy. It's crazy. But on a better note, Angelique Kidjo is now the first African artist to receive a Hollywood Walk of Fame star.
She's arguably the
biggest.
Only one around that is the biggest.
Yeah.
Everybody's trying to be like her or be better or match her, but nah, she's big. She's big like
now,
that.
she ain't bigger than y'all. There's nothing you probably want to say.
Go and get your
Go and collect your own.
Shebi is Grammy that we were shouting. Maybe we should change it now.
No, but how many people have Grammy like her before?
No. Shebi they've started winning now.
Okay. So collect your own Hollywood Walk of Fame too. So collect your star first. Yeah. Maybe when you are like past that age, then you can collect your star. That's it.
Congratulations to her.
Congratulations to her. She's a fantastic musician.
She is.
That you cannot take
very
away
energetic
from her. On that note, that is all we have to take today on the bar. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. We'll be back again tomorrow. It's Friday. This is Friday.
Share.
A lot of music tomorrow. I saw a video of Burna Boy's birthday, and it was Ayuba that came to play. It was such a beautiful video.
Yeah.
You know how it's like a lot of people are going back to the old music now.
It will not be a bad thing to have a collaboration though.
Yeah.
Ayuba and
all
Burna.
those things. So anyway, that's all we'll see. We'll see you tomorrow at 3 p.m. West African time, right here on Boomba.